our next
Yes,
segment.
next segment, fourth and long.
Oh, we're going to have some
here we go.
fun
On a
today.
fourth and goal.
Fourth
down and 20. Fourth and 21. Not the way you
What do
want
you have
to try
for us
to
this
extend
week?
it.
All right. So first off, Johnny Manziel in the news. He was quoted talking about Matt Patricia. I know you just mentioned him a minute ago. He basically said that here's a guy that's prepared for Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees. You got to think he is chomping at the bit for some of these young QBs. It certainly showed. But you just wonder, is this what it's going to be like all year? How easy is it for him to confuse the heck out of some of these college quarterbacks?
You need the players to
and they have the
act
players,
out your scheme, because we saw it doesn't always matter with Mr. Bill Belichick, who I'm sure you'll bring up later. But yeah, I think it's a match made in heaven. The NFL coordinator who's proven, won Super Bowls, has had top defenses, gets the best roster in college football. There's really only one thing that can happen. So I think it's who's going to beat Ohio State this year.
With the teams that they're going to be playing, to where chances are a lot of these quarterbacks that they're going to be playing are
rookies.
First year in the system, first year
freshmen.
with
Michigan,
new.
It seems like every quarterback's a first-year quarterback. It almost seems like with every team.
That's just how the transfer. So he's looking.
He
at
might
that.
be eating lunch all season.
He's looking
long.
at it, going, as long as I keep the guys that I have,
curious.
this is gonna be a fun year. And he's kind of said that too. He's like, he was talking about the stadium and playing at Ohio State at the Horseshoe, of how loud it was, and he's like, I loved it. You don't find anything like that in the NFL.
You want to hear Ohio State's schedule?
Is Ohio State going to lose this year? Are they?
Good question, and I can answer it for you. Probably not. Texas, they just got that one out of the way. Arguably their hardest matchup outside of maybe Penn State, and Michigan's always tough, but let me just list off who they're playing. All right, this week they're playing Grambling, and then Ohio, and then Washington, Minnesota, Illinois. Illinois got a good team. They're ranked 11 right now, but Illinois versus Ohio State. Wisconsin, Penn State, tough one, but Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers, and then Michigan.
Oh man,
it's like one game.
So
they might lose one game, maybe
the Michigan game, just because history has said that they've lost.
So they're going to get a first round bye. They'll get a bye in the playoffs because of this.
They'll win the Big Ten, even if they lose to Michigan in the regular season. They won't lose to them 2 times. Yeah,
injuries happen though. Yeah, and they are starting a freshman quarterback still.
But that defense
right now,
with their defense, they don't need a quarterback.
Yeah, they
really
just
need someone to manage the game.
Yeah, Michigan didn't need it when they won 24.
Okay, so there's an unwritten NFL rule that basically says that it's a way that GMs have been able to stash injured players. They can take players that are on and put them on IR that are injured to kind of save a roster spot. And there's this unspoken rule that teams aren't supposed to grab them off waivers. Yep. So this year, Willie Lampkin, right, offensive lineman on the Rams, they put him there. 31 teams respected this unspoken rule, except for the Eagles.
30 teams.
Howie Roseman broke, 30 teams, I guess. Yeah. Howie Roseman broke tradition and claimed him on waivers. What are your thoughts? First of all, I friggin' hate the Eagles. Of course it would be them to do this. Yeah. But what are your thoughts on that? The fact that he broke this unspoken rule, and what does that say, I guess, going forward, and how people are going to view the Eagles?
I think this stems from? Hold on.
A little
No.
bitch.
You know where I think this stems from?
What?
Sean McVay was very outspoken against the tush push.
Man. I'm going to take your center and run the tush push with him.
The Eagles GM basically said, okay, cool. Screw you. I'm taking your O-lineman.
I didn't even think of that.
So that could be maybe just a 5% of why he did what he did.
Jesus.
But no, I mean, I understand there's a lot of unwritten rules and unwritten this. And
I'm not a fan of unwritten rules personally.
There's just stuff you don't do, but at the end of the day, they didn't break any rules.
Well, that's going to come back to bite them in the ass at some point. You got to think.
Well, they claimed a player that they needed off of another team that if the Rams wanted him so bad, and I know teams do it to kind of hide injuries and when guys hurt.
Well, it's a way to kind of extend their roster past 53.
I completely agree with all that. But at the same time, that's what that is for. You put those players on waivers for other teams to then pick them up based off positions they need. And the Eagles didn't break any type of rules. They obviously needed an O-lineman. They found the best available. And the Rams, I mean, if they wanted him so bad, they should have kept him.
They play the Rams week 3, by the way. So... Maybe they have some injuries and Mr. Willie Lampkin is.
I don't mind it. Do I think it's a little scumbaggish just because it's the Eagles and they have a reputation for being the big bad. Bad guy and the bully. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But they didn't break any rules.
No, they didn't.
They needed an lineman. They found the best available, and they picked him off waivers.
It's just scumbag move.
I think it's a crappy move.
I'm not disagreeing with
definitely.
you, but they didn't break any rules.
No, it's not illegal.
So I was excited about a few games, and obviously my team, the Montana Grizzlies, they did not have their season opener this weekend. Don't know why.
Yeah,
I thought everybody played on the first weekend. They don't start until next week. So didn't get to watch them, but there was a game that I was excited to watch. And of course it was over the top of one of your guys' drafts, Bill Belichick. So North Carolina's first drive was a thing of beauty.
Oh, yeah.
I texted Dawson and I was like, oh my God.
You should have turned off the TV after that.
It looked so, I was like, Dawson, this is insane. I literally thought Bill Belichick was going to run the entire drive like he did one year at the Patriots.
This is what he said.
So
he said, "I am watching the Patriots play TCU." That's what he kept saying.
That's what I said.
Yeah, the Patriots with 70 new players and a transfer QB that didn't complete a pass for 2 hours.
Like that place was rocking. So okay.
Which, hey, I mean, first watching that, I thought the same thing.
Well, yeah, but look, NFL guy versus college.
They didn't complete a pass.
But then, then they proceeded to get their asses kicked.
Yeah, 48-14. Right?
So was this first game jitters, or unlike what the announcers kept saying, they kept showing all those Super Bowl rings?
This is a brand.
Is North Carolina a playoff contender?
No,
are you going for it, or are you punting?
This is my argument. What the hell did we have expectations of this team? They had 70 transfers come in. 70. Like, what, for real, what did we expect?
Has a team ever done that before and come in with a completely new roster?
I mean, Marshall kind of did it because they lost all their teams.
The transfer portal's only like 3 or 4 years old.
But they said it. They said, I can't remember what game it was. They were talking about.
I thought there was a team a few years ago that did that.
No. It was the TC.
Oh, it was Colorado. Remember, that Dion, he brought in a bunch, and it didn't.
Portal.
Yeah,
but TCU, they said, well, TCU has, I think they wanted to say like 35 new players, and 20 of them.
Half.
No, 20 of them were freshmen, not even transfer portal. So you have 70 guys coming to your school from the transfer portal.
30 of them were freshmen too.
I don't know what the expectations were, and TCU took it to offend. I mean, the spread was, I think, only 3.5.
Yeah, and TCU was there was a lot of stories going around, and none of them.
None of it was about, and for good reason. I mean, they sold ESPN. Yeah. They found the big story, and they sold the big story with Bill Belichick. So they did their thing, and kind of what ESPN does. But what was your expectation? I mean, seriously.
Expected them to complete a pass in between a 2-hour time frame.
I'll give you that.
Or even look like a college football team.
Oh, they did on the first drive, and then I don't know what the hell happened.
That's because the first drive is scripted. And then everything else after that.
Okay, so one last one. I just thought of this. So tradition is important in any program, and I think we see that all throughout NFL. We see it through college. So tradition is important in any program, any school, college, whatever. And when you think about Alabama, the tradition, like, remember what Nick Saban's office used to look like? Like, there was so much history in that. I don't know if you've seen what DeBoer did to that office. It looks like a Verizon wireless store. Totally changed it up. And not only did they throw out tradition, they clearly threw out the tradition of winning. I think Alabama, I don't know about you guys, I think Alabama's going to lose 3 or 4 games this year.
I'm with you.
And I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. That's my prediction. What say you guys? Are you punting on that, or are you going for it? Is Alabama out of the playoffs?
I think we're overreacting a little bit. Like,
there were signs last year when he lost to Vanderbilt.
And I understand FSU only had 2 wins and all. I get all that. And
Look at their schedule.
I know they lost. But at the same time, you had a brand new quarterback that's never played before. I mean, like, the same way we need to pump the brakes on Archie Manning and all the hype he got, and now everyone's saying he's a bust, and after one freaking game, let's pump the brakes on some of these teams. And I just see it too much. It was 1 week of college football.
Yeah.
There is a lot of games left to beat, because all of a sudden, Alabama could go in and beat Georgia. It could happen. I understand.
It's at Georgia this year.
It doesn't matter, though. Like, it could happen. And I know if you base everything off the first week, that there's no way in hell you're stupid for saying that. Well, crazier things have happened. Yep. So let's pump the brakes on all of this. Like, I don't even know why we're talking about playoffs yet. It's week 1.
Playoffs?
Like, we have, I don't even, 9 more games to play before we even get to that. Like, we wait all this time to finally get to football. And then after 1 week, we're talking about the damn playoffs. So let's just enjoy it. Let's watch the games. And when it comes down to it, when all these games are played, then we can talk about the playoffs and whether this team deserves to be in or who beat who and all that bullshit that we do at the end of the year. That's what I think.
So to answer your question, Chris, they play Tennessee, South Carolina, LSU, Oklahoma, and Auburn 5 out of the last 6 weeks. They are not making the playoffs, and they are, in fact, losing 3 or 4
And we'll
games.
know
That's
if
definite.
they deserve to be in the playoffs because of those games. So let's just wait and watch.
Tennessee, L, South Carolina, L, LSU, L. Those
you
3.
very well could be right.
And they already have 1 L.
But what happens if they lose all those and then they go and beat Georgia? What happens then?
They played Georgia before those. So if
you know what I mean, though?
If they beat Georgia but lose to those 3, honestly, I think LSU is better than Georgia this year.
I mean,
So
for all we know,
matters.
FSU could come out and lose the rest of their games. They spent all offseason game planning for Alabama. That was their Super Bowl, and then all of a sudden they suck the rest of the year.
Yeah, and that's even worse for Alabama.
Anything could happen.
That's even worse for Alabama.
I'll give you that. We'll wait a few more weeks.
Let's give it some time. Like we wait all this time to watch these games, and now we're just
overreact to them.
Talking
That's
about
what we're waiting
playoffs.
for.
Let's wait. Let's watch the games. Let's enjoy it, and when playoffs come around, we can talk about that.
Well, listen, guys, that's all I got for 4th and Long.
Nice 4th and Long.